Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom this morning is Piatt County Sheriff Mark Vogelzang. Sheriff, I see you're not calling me from a beach this morning. What's going on? Are you taking just a quick break in Central Illinois before you head back?
No, always working, much like your previous guest. It'll be a hard act to follow.
Sure. Yeah, but no, it's always good to have you on the program. I appreciate you making time with us. And Sheriff, as we catch up for this morning, you mentioned my previous guest. I think you're referring to Sheriff Walker. I had him on earlier in the week, and we talked about the new hiring process for departments. This comes out of the kind of reform from the Sonia Massey incident in Springfield. How much does this, I guess, kind of run down this change? You know, what are some of the changes out of this reform, and how much does this impact your department? How about that to get us started?
Well, to back up a little bit, I was referring to Mary Vogt.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure, yeah.
Walker's a different story.
He is a different story. That he is. But no, Mrs. Vogt was great. She's always great.
Absolutely. She's always been great to work with. She's very passionate about what she does, and we always enjoy working with Piatt in their school district.
She says hello, by the way.
What's that?
She says hello, by the way.
Perfect.
Yep.
Very good. No, you're talking about the changes in the act. You know, it's one of those that background investigations are so important when we hire any of our staff, whether it's a dispatch or corrections, but without a doubt, a deputy, you want to have a good background investigation. We've seen some really good interviews, some really good applications come in, only to start a background investigation and start seeing those red flags pop up. So we've always done a pretty good job. I don't think that the new law really affects us a whole lot. We were following all those. I took a lot of our procedures from the department where I used to work in Champaign, and brought those here. They always did a very, very thorough background investigation. I think the key that's going to really help us, a lot of times when we go out and do those background investigations, more so with private employers versus former law enforcement agencies, we have a hard time getting employment records, the employment files from those private entities. With this new law, they're now required to provide those to us, the full employment background within 14 days. So that's what's going to really help us out is having some teeth in it to be able to get those records to do that background investigation.
Is it a red flag when somebody like that won't get you that information before this change?
Well, I mean, it can be a red flag. Sometimes you're dealing with such big corporations that it's hard to work your way through the HR department. But yeah, there's always that potential that there may be a red flag there as a reason why they're not turning some stuff over.
Sure. So when it comes to other reforms out of this, is there much else that changes, or was that kind of the big thing?
No, for us, that's the big thing. We've always done a very thorough background. We're out there talking to neighbors. We do our credit checks, working with the Training and Standards Board to make sure there's no complaints, references, criminal history. We do a psychological exam with our employees for deputy anyways, and then physical and things like that. So it's a pretty extensive background process.
Sure. You talked about having good applicants to your department, Sheriff. What do you attribute that to? Because a lot of departments struggle to get even just a handful of applicants, be it good or bad. But you're telling us you get good applicants over there. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, we've been very, very lucky. We stay, for the most part, full. We've got a person going through a background investigation right now for deputy, and that would fill us back up. I think a big part of it is we don't really recruit from outside our geographical area. Most of our applicants are local, and they want to stay and contribute to the community that they grew up in. So just being able to recruit those that have been spent a majority of their life in Piatt County.
Gotcha. Very good. Very good. Well, anything else on that change, Sheriff, you want to put out there for us?
No, we've been very lucky, and like I said, continue to work through the process.
Sure. Piatt County Sheriff Mark Vogelzang, my guest on the Zoom here for this morning. Sheriff, let's talk about your drone program. I know, like you mentioned, Sheriff Walker over here, he purchased a drone or two, if I'm not mistaken, a while back, and sometimes those have come in handy for his guys already. I'm curious what your drone program looks like and why you need one in Piatt County.
Initially we had looked at it, and I wasn't real excited about going out and purchasing one because there were some other entities around here that we could use, but we had an opportunity to jump on a grant that provided the drone for free for us. So
cool.
Never turned down anything free. Now that we have it, I wouldn't be without one. We were able to get 2 people certified to fly it back in November. And in the 2 short months we've had it, we've had 3 different instances where we've deployed it, and it really helps to keep the officers and those that we're looking for safe.
How so?
The first one that we had, it was some burglars that were burglarizing a large empty factory here, and they were hidden in the bushes as the officers were walking around trying to locate them. We were able to put the drone up, use their heat signature. It's got thermal capabilities, and find them and then walk the officers in. The second one was a suicidal subject that was on a railroad track. So there's a huge stretch of ground to try and cover. A lot of times if somebody doesn't want to be found, they hide themselves in the brush and stuff. This, we're able to get up, pinpoint where that person was hiding, and then walk the officers in from a safe distance so that they can start giving verbal commands versus walking right up on the person and potentially getting in an altercation with them.
Sure. I have encountered the drone conversation mostly in ag circles. And one thing that is surprising to a lot of folks is all of the like FAA requirements that come along with it, and some of those things. Are there exemptions to some of those for law enforcement, or do you all have to go through some like certifications for protocols with the FAA and that sort of thing? Is there any of that red tape or bureaucratic stuff you have to navigate with this program?
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of red tape.
Wouldn't be Illinois without it, right?
Yeah, exactly. But that's why we send our staff that are going to be flying it to that school. They do get certified to become a drone pilot. But yeah, there's restrictions on when you can use it as far as the ceiling, visibility, things like that. We also have to file a report with the state's attorney's office every time that we use it without a court order. So those 3 incidents, wow. Short time after using them, the drone pilot is required to send a letter documenting the information to the state's attorney's office.
Sure. Yeah. What was I going to ask you? Oh, how big are they? How big are these things?
Oh, probably maybe 3x3-ish.
Oh, so not huge.
They're not huge, but they can fly in quite a bit of different weather. The nice thing with ours is not only does it have that thermal capability, but we're able to record. We have a PA system on it, so we are able to communicate with that person. But the other thing that's been a nice addition is the spotlight on it. It is quite bright, so now we're able to illuminate the individual we're looking for. But then also in the last 2 incidences, the drone pilot used that white light to help guide the officers out across the field. And the last one was out of a set of woods, the quickest direction to the nearest road. So they're able to use that white light to help guide them out of wherever they're at.
It's like the Israelites through the desert a little bit there. So
exactly.
Very biblical.
Exactly. So it's been a great tool. We look at potentially getting maybe a smaller one for an indoor capabilities. But knowing what we know now and the ability to deploy it so quick, I would not want to be without that drone capability.
Yeah, tell me about that grant that you were able to secure that allowed you to get it.
Yeah, it was through one of the local railroads. We just ended up applying. We ended up getting, I believe it was about $13,000 to purchase this drone and get the system up and running. So it's been a great tool.
Cool. Was it a competitive grant or just one of those things that you kind of came across? How'd you hear about it?
No, I happened to be at a unrelated class with a subject from Macon County. Macon County had used the same grant, and just talking to him, found out about it and applied.
Got it. Would you do the same thing for a second drone, or would you have to probably pay for that out of pocket for your department?
I don't know if my guess is that they're probably not going to give us a second grant for a second drone.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's enough agencies out there that are needing them, whether it's to track a wanted subject or maybe even looking at a hazmat spill from the fire aspect.
Yeah. When you got this drone, Sheriff, what did you envision it helping you with?
I think obviously the biggest part would be either a subject that was wanted and fled from the police, and or somebody that's missing or suicidal, trying to track those down. We've had a couple of those over the years. One of the missing subjects that we had probably about 3 or 4 years ago, we didn't have drones. It was before they became real popular. And we reached out to the Illinois State Police and their plane that had thermal capabilities and brought them in. Obviously, that takes time. They may or may not be available. So having that drone with that thermal capability that we can deploy in very short order.
Yeah, ASAP, really.
It's so important, especially with weather that we're having right now. In that cold, if you have somebody with dementia or something like that wander off, minutes could be the difference between saving a life.
Have you used it for much less serious circumstances at all?
Like I said, we've had it for 2 months and we've had 3 deployments, one of which was the burglary suspects. The second was a suicidal subject at an unknown location on the railroad tracks. And the third was a gentleman that had a warrant and fled from officers into a park. That was used in conjunction with Atwood's police canine. So again, it's another way we can do things safely, utilizing both a canine and a drone so that you can guide that canine handler in and let him know before he walks right up on a subject that might attack them.
Sure. Do you guys have a canine?
We don't right now. Obviously, Sergeant Williams retired Cato a year or 2 back. We are in the process of getting another canine. We've identified the canine handler. Deputy Brody is going to be the new canine handler, and he should be going to the Illinois State Police Academy for canines this fall.
Stu's a sergeant?
Stu is, yes, he is.
Oh, I didn't realize
he is a sergeant and also our investigator.
Yeah, I knew he was the investigator. I didn't know he was a sergeant. Good for him. That's cool.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep,
Learned a lot about Stu this morning, Sheriff. Found out he's a NASCAR fan. He likes energy drinks, and now he's a sergeant. So, man.
And he knows a little bit about basketball.
I knew that about him. Yeah, but that's awesome. You got some multifaceted dudes in your department, Sheriff. I tell you.
We do.
Yeah,
we do.
That's cool. Awesome. Sheriff, I'm way past the break, my good friend. How do folks learn about your department and all the things going on in it?
Best way to do that would be checking out our Facebook page.
That's Piatt County Sheriff Mark Vogelzang, my guest on the Zoom today. More to come with the Sheriff on the morning show.
WHOW.
Here's Matt Hart, owner of the Hart Media Group in Clinton, talking about continuing to serve the community through new ownership.
Things came together and we reached an agreement to purchase. And as you mentioned, we closed August the 1st. So as August the 1st, Miller Media Group is now Hart Media Group. And we're continuing to serve the people of Clinton and DeWitt County and Monticello and Bloomington and Decatur and everywhere, because we'll just keep connecting people as we've been doing.
The Hart Media Group looks forward to continuing to serve the community for years to come.
Health isn't just something you think about when you're sick.
At the SIU Center for Family Medicine in Lincoln, our doctors care for you through every stage of life. Annual checkups help you stay ahead of problems, keep your family healthy, and build a relationship with a doctor who knows you. Make preventative care part of your routine. Book your annual appointment online today by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. SIU Medicine in Lincoln. Forward for you.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Netflix buffering, YouTube spinning, devices not connecting, Zoom calls dropping. Ugh, it's frustrating. Let's end your frustration by signing up for fiber internet in Clinton. Click the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today is Piatt County Sheriff Mark Vogelzang. Sheriff, as we catch up here for this morning, what else has kind of come across your desk? What's kept you guys busy? It sounds like some awards last year, maybe one of the highlights of 2025 for your guys.
Closed out 25. We had our annual Christmas party and awards. We ended up issuing out 14 commendations this year, as well as one life-saving award. So
cool.
A lot of good work by our staff here at the Sheriff's Department.
Tell me about the life-saving award. What happened there?
Well, that's an interesting one. It actually involved myself.
So you're giving yourself awards now? Is this what you're telling me?
No, I was the cause of this award. I just happened to be sitting right here at my desk eating some beef jerky and wasn't drinking enough water and truly started choking. I had zero airflow. I knew I was going to more than likely go unconscious. So I stepped out in the hall, and our chief deputy, who was in the office adjoining me, was actually going through his CPR AED research. So perfect timing. He ended up doing the Heimlich, and I said, I have no doubt if I was alone that I probably would have went unconscious and not had the outcome that we did. So it was a choking incident. I've become a very big believer in things such as the life vac, which helps an individual that is choking. So we've since purchased several of those to have in the jail, dispatch, patrol, and at the courthouse. So if you haven't taken CPR, AED, basic first aid, I would highly encourage it. You never know who you might save.
Yeah, I do hope that officer passed that recert.
He did.
Yeah,
flying colors.
I would say so.
Yes. Yes. And that was actually our chief deputy. So he had an opportunity to become sheriff, and he chose to save me instead of taking the promotion. Yes.
That's one way to look at it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But no, it's, it is something that is so important to look at the CPR. You never know with infants and stuff like that, how fast those things can happen.
Sure. Yep. Definitely. That's cool. That's really neat. That's really neat. And that's why they've got those certifications and all those things. Definitely. Well, Sheriff, continuing on here again, Piatt County Sheriff Mark Vogelzang. You were telling me before we got started, you've got some officers. I mean, I mentioned your guys multifaceted there in your department. You got some guys that want to step up and not only be a force for good for the community, but they want to do good for the community. What's going on? What are they doing?
Absolutely. We've got a great staff that's always looking for ways to give back. We had one deputy come in and approach me late November, and she wanted to do an event called Step Squad, where we collect, it's basically a food drive, and have that food given to the food pantry for those in need during the Christmas time. But then one of the other events that we've got coming up, I had a correctional officer as well as a deputy both come to me and want to do a blood drive. So we're partnering with a organization called Impact Life. We're going to have their bus in our front parking lot. Right now it's looking March 25th from 10 to 1 to do a blood drive and try and help out that organization.
Cool. Good for you guys. Good for you guys. So that you said March 25th on that?
March 25th from 10 to 1. I said they're going to be parked in front of our building. Once we get that confirmed, we'll go ahead and share that on our Facebook page. So if you're interested, the more the better. There's always a need for more blood.
Where is your office, Sheriff?
1216 Raymond Road.
Is that in Monticello?
Yes. It's on the south side of Monticello. As you're going out of town, there's a Tractor Supply. It's just back west of Tractor Supply.
I had no idea.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Is it new?
We built out here in 2004.
Oh, okay. So relatively new.
Still fairly new.
Yeah.
We've got a great facility. It's been maintained very, very, very well. We've got a great maintenance staff, custodial staff that, they take a great care in it.
Is that an ideal location for you all, given your kind of rural nature and all that stuff?
It is. It's, we've got some room to grow still if we needed to, but, kind of tucked away back here. It's been a great location for us.
Excuse me.
Yep.
On that note, Sheriff, I hate to do this to you, but I got to let you go for the day. Best way for folks to follow along with all things Piatt County Sheriff's Office.
Yep. At the Facebook page is where you should go.
Very good. Piatt County Sheriff Mark Vogelzang, my guest on the Zoom this morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network News comes your way next.
WHOW.